Hello everyone, Yudi here. On behalf of the entire AUC Talks channel, I would like to apologize to you guys for the smoke detector situation we're having. We've read all of your comments and we love taking on board all of your constructive criticism, but unfortunately the solution hasn't been found yet, but soon we'll have it. I promise we will have it fixed for you guys. But in the meantime, we have pre-recorded some great videos that unfortunately have a bit of the sound coming off, so I'd just like to put this statement right here to apologize in regards to that, but I hope it doesn't take too much away from your enjoyment. And thank you so much for subscribing to our channel, liking and commenting. We appreciate that so much, and hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thank you very much.
We are very proud to announce UMP Trading is an official partner with a proven profit track record.
Yeah, if you want great returns on your investments, be sure to check out UMP Trading.
Hello, welcome back to everyone that's tuned into our channel, American Ultra Stock. Here we are today. It's just Braden, Jeff, and I. We're bringing to you guys a really nice video. It's the head-to-head series where we compare the USMNT with another nation in the world. And just like I said, compare head-to-head, position by position, and decide which players are the best ones. At the end of the video, we have a full lineup of the players that would consist of the best possible 11 from both nations. And Braden has it on his background. USA against Brazil, just straight off the bat. On goal, Matt Turner or Allison? I'll go to you, Braden.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of an easy one, I think. I mean, it has to be Allison. He's started for Liverpool for the past several years, won a Champions League, won the Premier League. I mean, he's basically won everything. He's completed football with Liverpool, and Turner has become a very good goalkeeper over the past couple of years, starting in the Premier League now. But, I mean, he's still levels and levels below Allison. It's easy 1-0 to Brazil here.
Yeah, what about you, Jeff?
Yeah, no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. As much as I love Turner, Allison is by far, the better keeper, better on the ball, more consistent, has a lot more experience. Like Brandon said, he can. After being at Liverpool for 5 years, he's practically won anything there is to win with Liverpool. So, yeah, I'm going with Allison 100%.
Yeah, and fun fact, Allison's brother played for Paraná, so that's cool. But also, just to make it clear to the viewers, if my pronunciation sounds weird, I was born in Brazil, but I obviously root for the U.S., but I can't go with Turner here. I mean, no amount of bias is going to sway me to picking Matt Turner. Like you guys said, in resume, the accolades and the performances, Allison is the clear better goalkeeper here. Now let's go to the next position where I'll probably, it's tough to say, Serginho Dest or Danilo. I'll go to Braden first. I'll think about my pick.
I mean, for the sake of giving us some points, I kind of want to say Dest, but I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible, so I'm going to go for Danilo. I think on talent, Dest might win it, but let's be honest. Like I said in the USA versus Italy video, we've seen Dest play in Serie A, and we've seen obviously Danilo play in Serie A with Juventus, and Dest couldn't get a game. Danilo's a great player for Juventus. I mean, probably the weakest area of the pitch for Juve and Brazil, but I mean, he still showed that he can play at the top level, and Dest hasn't done that yet, so it has to be Danilo, unfortunately.
All right, Jeff?
I'm like Braden. I might be a bit biased here. I've watched Danilo for years because I remember before that he was with Madrid during the 16-17 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. And the dude has a bang-up average right back, and then he got that move to City. He was meh here and there. And I want to know, how the hell did City manage to pull up that absurd swap deal of him and Cancelo? Cancelo was having an amazing season with Juve, and then City come knocking on their door to say, "Hey, want to do a swap deal? We give you a bang-up, washed right fullback for a world-class fullback. Make it a whole trade, maybe throw in some money." And Juve being the dumbasses they are, the board, they accepted the deal. And Danilo didn't prove to be half the player Cancelo was in that first season with Juve. And yeah, he may be a bit versatile, but he struggles to defend. He's good in the attack, and he lacks consistency. But what I've seen of Dest, he's very technical, a very attacking fullback. A bit iffy at times at defense as well, just like Danilo. But at least he offers more flair, creativity, and technicality when going forward. And obviously, we haven't seen that in years with club level, but with the national team, he always proves to be the player that I described him as right now. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Dest here, just for the sake of of who I like better as a player.
All right. No, that's fair. I mean, every Brazilian will tell you that Dest is better because they're Brazilian fans are really harsh and really radical. They blame the Croatia goal on Danilo entirely, basically. Danilo and Fred, So I'm gonna go with Dest because I truly think that Danilo is a horrible player. If we're talking top level terms. He's always bet against top teams in Italy. I mean, the Napoli 5-0 win last year, he was shocking. He's playing more as a center back nowadays. The only reason why he gets call-ups, in my opinion, is because Brazil's really short at right back. They've been short of a right back ever since Maicon and Daniel Alves, ever since they stopped playing. And yeah, that's the only reason. I'll go with Dest. I think you have a better career. I think he's a better player at any level. At any aspect, to be honest, even defending, in my opinion. Now, going to the next player. That was a bit of a wild take, but I'll just body all the comments.
Now, just being logical here. Just tell them that.
All right, Richards and Eder Militão. Braden, who do you think is the best center back?
I mean, come on. One is a bench player for Crystal Palace, and one is starting for Real Madrid. I mean, it's not a comparison here. It has to be Militão.
Yeah, pretty clear. I see Jeff with his hand up. Jeff, are you gonna back Richards on this one?
Just want to say, screw what the comment says. I'm going with Richards. I don't care. You can bash me all you want. All right, I've seen what I've seen, and there are Madrid fans that say that Eder Militão, he is a good player, but he's almost at times very inconsistent. Obviously he's fast, he's good on the ball, he's good at one-on-one defending, but at times he can be a bit clueless with his decision making, and at times he kind of struggles in terms of transition, like being a defender. He kind of struggles at that because when it comes to him covering space or just trying to make an interception or going for a tackle, sometimes he overthinks it. But with Richards, in my opinion, Richards no more perfect than Eder Militão, but I'm just seeing that Richards, he makes up for it in terms of having how do I say this? Oh man, I put myself in a complicated spot. But yeah, I'm only gonna say this just because try not to be biased. Oh man, the biasness is starting to kick in. But yeah, the reason why I go with Richards is because I'm a Barca fan. That's why.
All right, that's fair enough. Honestly, I think that was a good attempt at trying to pick Richards over Eder Militão. I'll say this: if we had Militão as a right back, I would pick him over Dest. I think
definitely
he's really good as a right back. Honestly.
Yeah, definitely. He played right back in his Porto days. I know that.
Yeah, at São Paulo, he was playing right back too. I think he's the best right back that Brazil has, but for some reason they kept plugging him in as a center back. But yeah, him and Richards, like Braden said, I'm not even going to waste my time here. Sadly, I have to pick Militão, even though I do think he has some shaky moments as a center back.
He does. Now, that's what I was trying to put my point on.
All right, yeah, that's fair. Now, Tim Ream or Marquinhos. This is a nice one to analyze. I'm curious to see. Braden, who are you picking?
I mean, it's a bit boring, but I have to pick Marquinhos again. I mean, we've seen him at the top of the game with PSG for the past several years, and I mean, I really rate Marquinhos. I think he's one of the best center backs in the world. Maybe you're seeing something I'm not, but I don't know. I think he's been one of PSG's most solid, consistent players in an era where they've had a lot of big names come in and kind of flop a little bit, underwhelm. and he's kind of just the unsung hero in the back line that just keeps things solid and together for them. So I think he deserves more praise. Kind of similar to Reem in that way. I feel like he kind of goes under the radar too a little bit, but yeah, it has to be Marquinhos for me.
All right, Jeff.
Yeah, and it's no brainer either. As much as I love and respect Reem, to be honest, this is actually the best we've seen of him, and it's kind of late, to say that this is his prime version, but he's way past his prime. But this is the best we've seen of him. But you can't argue with Marquinhos. Like Marquinhos, he's proven it for many years, being a formidable leader at PSG. Very experienced. He's a very technical defender, very good on the ball. He can even play as a CDM as well if needed. And yeah, for many years, he's been depicted as Thiago Silva's replacement, not only with PSG but also with Brazil. And yeah, he's very good. He can play, at the three at the back, and the center, and also with even in a back four formation. He's a very, very good player. He's been like that for many years. Yeah, this is no brainer. I'm going with Marquinhos 100%.
All right, yeah, I'm going with Marquinhos too, but I will say that if Team Reem was playing like this when he was 26, I'll pick him over Marquinhos. I'm just going to say that to the Brazilian fans that are watching this, trust us, Marquinhos is better than Team Reem, because Marquinhos is like public enemy number one in Brazil for some reason. Again, really harsh, critical fans and radical fans, but he really, I'll say this, for the national team, he has underwhelmed plenty of times. And yeah, I'll go with him over Reem, but just to explain, I believe that if some Brazilian fans are going to watch this, they're going to say that Marquinhos shouldn't be making any team, but just a heads up. But now to the next position where I firmly believe we may have our first consensus that an American's taking over. Jedi or Ayrton Lucas from Flamengo. Braden.
I mean, I really want to pick Ayrton Lucas, but he's not at Jedi's level, unfortunately. I mean, I think maybe if he got more consistent game time, he could be. Sampaoli seems to rate Felipe Luis higher than him for some reason. I don't really understand that at all.
It's Felipe Luis, man.
He's an idiot of a coach, to be honest. But so going a little off topic. I mean, Ayrton Lucas, he's one of the best left backs, I think, in Brasileirão, and it's nice to see Brazil-based players actually starting for the national team, because they've kind of gotten away from that in recent years, mainly just players playing in Europe. So it's cool that one of their domestic-based players is actually a starter for them now, as opposed to just being there to make up the numbers on the bench. But he's not at Jedi's level. I mean, Jedi, one of the most underrated players, I think, in the Prem, one of our most consistent players, just a very, very solid Premier League left back with Fulham. So he's going to get my first USA point here.
All right, Jeff?
I don't know who the hell this Ayrton Lucas is, all right? I don't watch the Brasileirão. I do know Brazilian players, but I don't know who this random guy is. He sounds like, another Weverton, just a Brazilian-based player, being called onto the national team. But yeah, Jedi, 100%. I never seen the guy play. I don't even know how old he is. I don't even know how long he's been, warming Felipe Luis's, seat on the bench. Given that Felipe Luis is so old, I'm surprised that he doesn't get minutes over him. So he must sound like a very bang-up average player, in my opinion. But yeah, enough criticizing and joking. I'm going with Jedi, 100%.
All right, Jeff had to roast the dude a little bit without even knowing him, but yeah, I'll go with Jedi too.
Yeah, I'm doing that to you, Braden. That was to you, Braden.
No, I mean, I think this one is pretty fair, easy and direct argument, just like we used for other picks. One is a consistent left back in the Prem, the other is in Brasileirão. And not only that, but it's not a solidified left back in Brazil as a solidified starter. But anyways, now going on to Tyler Adams or Casemiro. I mean, it's crazy that we're doing this comparison. Braden, who are you picking?
Yeah, I just want to preface this by saying that we're only doing this video because we have a lot of Brazilian viewers. I mean, otherwise there's no comparison between the US and Brazil, but we thought it'd be fun to see how our team stacks up against them, because we have gotten a lot better over the past 5 or so years, and who knows, maybe in another 5 or so years we'll be closer to Brazil's level. But for now, we're not, and Casemiro is levels and levels clear of Tyler Adams. He's one of the best sixes in the world, and Tyler Adams is a solid Premier League player. He showed that at Leeds in the first half of the season and in the World Cup, being our captain, but he's not Casemiro level. He's not world class.
All right, Jeff.
Casemiro, 100%. Like, what the hell does Adams, have to compete with Casemiro? I know I'm throwing some shade at him, but come on, we're talking about Casemiro, Carlos Enrique Casemiro. Like he was literally part of Madrid's one of the best trio midfielders in football history. Adams, the only accomplishment he made is being captain for us at the World Cup. I mean, look at Casemiro's trophy captain in this role. His history, his career speak for itself. There's no chance in hell you're convincing me Adams over Casemiro. Never. All right, even if you pay me as much money as you want, nope. I'm telling the truth. Casemiro, 100%.
Yeah.
And if there are Brazilian fans that bash him, there's something wrong with you guys. Really, something wrong with you guys.
No, he's pretty universally loved, except that he gets suspended for big games for Brazil. But I mean, he's universally loved. I'm not even gonna waste my time here. I'm sorry, Tyler Adams. There's no way.
Don't apologize. You apologize. Come on, hurry up, coming off it.
Not even Tyler's mom would pick him over Casemiro. So I'll leave it at that. Now to a more fair comparison: Weston McKennie or Lucas Paqueta. Braden, are you sticking with your Flamengo boy for this one?
Of course I am. I mean, we've seen Lucas Paqueta's talent in Liga with Lyon, and now with West Ham, helping them become champions of Europe, as West Ham fans like to say, winning the Conference League. And another one, like the Deaths and Danilo one, where I'm largely basing this off of the league. We saw Weston McKennie in the Prem last season. He was probably the worst player in the entire league. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but I think Leeds fans would definitely agree with me there. So until I've seen more from him, especially at a higher level, I mean, he's really only proved himself in CONCACAF and maybe a little with Juventus, but I don't think the level's high enough there. So I have to pick my Flamengo boy, Lucas Paqueta, here.
All right, Jeff?
Well, it took a bit of thinking for me on this one, just because of Paqueta's unforgettable stint at Milan. I remember Milan fans were so critical of this guy, and they thought he was going to be the next big thing for them. Well, thank God he got that move to Lyon, because it really relaunched his career. And as Yuri calls him, the stupid dancing Brazilian. You know, the dance is non-stop. Leads the dancing celebrations for whenever he scores a goal with Brazil. But anyways, McKennie, very inconsistent. Fatso McKennie, Fat Weston, Burger Man, whatever you call him nowadays, he's just a joke nowadays. Like, he's really got to pick his form up, because or else he's just gonna end up being probably one of our biggest flops of all time if he doesn't change his attitude. And big waste of a talent. But anyways, I'm going with Paqueta just because, we've seen what he can do now at West Ham. After what he did at Lyon, relaunched his career. Respect to him. He really picked it up after leaving Milan. McKennie can learn a thing or two from him.
All right, that was the roast of McKennie for this video. But yeah, I'll go with Lucas Paqueta, and in my opinion, he is a player that will never fulfill his talents, because I rate him so highly. I think Paqueta is such a gifted player. I've watched him live before, and I think he's insanely good. But there's some lack of focus there, ambition, and his personality is a bit tough too. But yeah, no-brainer here. I think he's a better player than Wes will ever be, in my opinion. But yeah, a bit of a closer one. Now, I just said closer one, but now we're comparing Gio Reyna with Neymar. We could skip this one, right? Just for the sake of, times-wise. Braden, who do you go for?
Yeah, this is really a toss-up. I mean, you could go either way. I just want to say quickly, Lucas Paqueta, as well as being a better footballer, he's definitely a better gambler than Weston McKennie, based on the news that has been coming out recently. But as for this one, I mean, Gio Reyna is probably our best talent, I think he has the highest potential out of all the players in our pool, at least for now. I think there's a couple coming up down the line that might be better than him, but I think he truly has world-class potential. But I mean, we're comparing him to Neymar here, who has lost all my respect for selling out to the Saudi League. But you know what? Actually, just for that, I'm picking Gio Reyna. I don't care. No Saudi League player deserves respect, and they don't deserve to be picked. Reyna's clear.
All right, Jeff.
As a Barca fan, that really broke my heart. 6 years ago, I was thinking, man, this guy, he's gonna win the Ballon d'Or. It's only a matter of time. But if you told me now, but if you told me back then, 6 years ago, that this guy ends up in Saudi Arabia, I'd be like, where's that again? Wait, where is that? No, you're joking. He's like, did he stay at Barca? No, he didn't. Yeah. He sold his soul just for money at PSG and even more money at the Camels League. He's really following in with Ronaldo in terms of ego and in terms of, just fame. Yeah, and I agree with Braden. Just for this, this is a hot take, but Neymar is the biggest failed, wasted, player of all time. Like, this guy's potential was so huge at 19 years old when he was playing at Santos. And he even made history of becoming the first non-European player to finish top 10 in the Ballon d'Or. I remember he finished 10th. I remember watching this guy gliding past defenders at Santos when I was a kid, watching Santos play the Brasileirão and Gol TV. He was just amazing. He was such a gifted player that they were even comparing him with Ronaldinho. But if we compared both of them now, I choose Ronaldinho 100%. 100%. I choose Ronaldinho. I don't care what you say. At least Ronaldinho, at least cared and had passion, and I know, but in his prime years, Neymar, he's way past his prime. But at least Ronaldinho was more technically gifted, and he just put his heart and soul into playing football more than Neymar. But anyways, yeah, I'm choosing Gio Reyna just because of, he's our biggest talent and stuff. Right. I know I said a lot of things that the comments are going to be so mad about, but yeah, that's my take.
No, I think that's maybe a topic for the future if you want to make a top 10 most wasted talent. Because I do agree. I think Neymar is the biggest waste of a talent in history because he could have been right up there in my opinion. And with the Ronaldinho take, I think Neymar is clear in any way. But now to the next one, Tim Weah or Rafinha. Interesting. Braden, who are you picking?
Yeah, I think this might be the closest one so far, and we've seen Weah playing his new right wing back role with Juventus already, probably cementing himself as one of the best players in a limited amount of time. I'm really excited for what he can do this year in Serie A, and he's always been consistent for the national team as well, which is something I think a lot of our players have in common. Him, Dest, Turner, no matter what their game situation is looking like at the club level, they always perform for the national team, which I think is kind of why our group is so good together and why we kind of overperform. I think doing these talent videos makes us realize, I think, how far behind in terms of talent we are. The top nations, like the Italy video in particular, I mean, I think as a team, we might be better than Italy, but like on a player-to-player basis, I think we're a lot worse. But getting a little off topic there, I think for this comparison, I'm going to have to go for Rafinha. I mean, he was so good at Leeds before he made the move to Barca, and he's been a little shaky at Barca, but he's had his moments that he's shown undeniable class and quality, and I just think he's a lot more traditional of a winger than Weah, and in this formation, they'd be playing as the right winger, so I'm going to take Rafinha.
All right, really fair explanation in my opinion. Moving on to Jeff.
Pretty much Britain summed up about how Weah is doing. He's become an instant fan favorite at Juve. In my opinion, what he's done at Juve already, he's done more than McKennie has in his career with Juve. In my opinion, being more impactful, really just demonstrating that, he really slots in that wing back role. Maybe I'm taking a lot of shots at McKennie. I'm joking about that. He had his moments here and then. I'm just so mad at McKennie. I'm sorry, I'm going way too off topic, but I'm just so mad at him. But anyways, yeah, Weah, he's really filled in for Cuadrado already. That Juve fans seem to forget that he was already there before. And yeah, Weah's gonna do really great things after finally leaving Lille. Playing as a left back really had me so worried that he might get too used to it, and it was going to transition to it the national team. But yeah, definitely. I feel like now we don't have to worry about Weah only performing at the national team level, because I really feel like he's going to have his true breakout season with on the club level, especially with Juve. He slots in perfect in that wing back role, and with Rafinha, yeah, he's a meh type of player for me, because the player that we saw at Leeds, I don't see him at Barca. And as a Barca fan, like, he's very inconsistent. This is just like Dembele all over again, minus the injuries. Like, Rafinha, like, he had his moments, but he just seems like a bang up average player, And in my opinion, I don't know. Like, he's like Ferran Torres, but except he offers more, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. Rafinha, even when he made the move to Barca, I was skeptical about him, because I was like, maybe he just might be another waste of space. And he never really got it going, even though it's only been his first season. I have no idea, but I'm just going to go with Weah just because I trust him more. And I've seen what kind of player he is. Rafinha, like, he can pick it up maybe in the second season, but I don't know. I'm going with Weah. It's enough said.
All right. Yeah, I'll go with Weah too. And I'll use the criteria to try to sound reasonable with this one. I'll use national team performances. I think that Rafinha hasn't done well with the Brazilian national team. A lot of Brazilian fans don't like him at all, and they slated him after the World Cup, which it's a bit unfair. I don't think it was that bad. But I think he lacks the consistency, not only for national team, which, to be honest, he has been consistently bad and consistently mid, and club-wise too. So I'll go with Tim Weah. I don't think it's too absurd to choose him, even though I think that Rafinha is the more skillful player. But great explanation too, Brandon. You went a little bit off topic, and I apologize, but I think it was completely fair to say that making these videos really, it shines a light on how behind we are, player for player, but how we can actually try to punch above our weight as a unit. Now moving on to the striking position, which I think is a really nice one to discuss, because Brazil has been short of a 9 for a long time. We had been short of a 9 for a long time. And now Balogun or Richarlison, who are you picking, Braden?
Yeah, I think it's a little unfair to say that Brazil is short of a 9, honestly, because Richarlison, whenever given the chances for Brazil, has honestly really impressed me. I mean, he's got 20 goals and 44 caps. I think that's a very good goal-to-game ratio for a national team especially. But when you look at the club level, I mean, last season in the Premier League, Richarlison had more yellow cards for taking off his shirt than he did goals. I think that kind of speaks for itself. It would be interesting to see if Balogun does go to Spurs. They're one of the very many clubs that have been linked to him. And if that did happen, then we would get more of a better, I guess, we'd be able to see who's actually the better player, because they'd be competing for the same spot. But just based off of last season for club, I mean, it has to be Balogun, scoring 20 plus goals in all competitions in Liga, and obviously it's a weaker league. And I do think Richarlison's been better for the national team, but Balogun's only had 2 caps as well, and he scored in a final already, so I have to give it to him. And I can't pick a Fluminense player, so Balogun wins.
All right, that's fair. Staying true to the criteria. Now, Jeff, who are you picking?
I'm going with Balogun just because Richarlison's a Tottenham player, and also he's a fraud who literally only scored a single goal, had more yellow cards throughout last season, and his highlight of the season from last year is literally him taking the shirt off 2 times in the game. One thinking that he equalized the goal, which then he got karma, because then he scored again. The VAR canceled it, and then he once he finally scored the equalizer, Liverpool literally struck like less than like a minute after, and it was all for nothing. Literally, the man was bought for 65 million, and he only had 3 goals and 4 assists in 35 games for Tottenham last season. But yeah, but with Brazil, like Braden said, but this is my word, this time he's a different breed with them. Very impressive enough that he performs better than at Brazil than he does with Tottenham. And yeah, with Balogun, he's already proved that his worth last season. And right now he's linked to many clubs, so he's got many options. And yeah, he's already scored for us in 2 games, and especially in the final, sealing our Nations League trophy. Yeah, I'm going with Balogun 100%.
All right. Now, Braden was really consistent with his criteria. Unfortunately, I'll have to be consistent with mine. I've used the argument of national team performances to back up some of the players that I've chosen. I have to go with Richarlison. Honestly, I like Balogun a lot. I hope that he proves to be a better striker, but I knew my comparison is always if Paraná, which is the club of my life, had to sign a striker tomorrow to get us back to the promised land, who would I want, Richarlison or Balogun? I'll go with Richarlison because I don't think that Flo has the game like Richarlison had, to keep Everton up, and we know his club form has been awful, and I don't think Richarlison is that good of a player, but he's really gritty, he has a lot of heart, and, has shown up in big moments for Brazil as well, winning a Copa America, being one of the best players, so I'll go with him, sadly, but I do hope that Balogun changes my mind in the future. Now for the last player, I'm just going to say I'm heartbroken that, unfortunately, Captain America had to be compared to Vinicius Jr., Vini Malvadeza, one of the best wingers in the world. I mean, I'll just be quick. I'll say mine beforehand. I'll pick Vini. I can't choose fully. What about you, Braden?
I mean, obviously, I'm going to pick the pride and joy of Flamengo, Vinicius Jr. I mean, like you said, it's a bit unfortunate for Pulisic as probably our best player, our Captain America, as he's been nicknamed, going against a player of Vinny's quality. Like you said, probably one of the top 3-5 wingers in the world, I would say. And I mean, it's only going to go up from there. I think Vinny's also younger than Pulisic. Pulisic's never winning this debate. Not now, not in 5 years, not ever. So I mean, as unfortunate as it is, it's not to say that Pulisic's a bad player or anything, because losing to Vinicius is not exactly a bad thing. But yeah, like I said, I think I've said everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Vinicius is the best winger in the world, to be honest. But you, Jeff, are you picking Captain America on this one?
There's so many absurd takes already in this video. Do I really want to end it with one more?
Please.
Screw what the viewer said. I'm choosing Pulisic. One, I hate Vinny as his mentality. His dancing is just another dancing Brazil. And finally, he's a Madrid player. I'll never pick him. I'm choosing my boy Captain America. I'm too patriotic to say no.
All right. Anyways, we are done with this video. It was really sad for me as a dual national of the U.S. and Brazil to have to pick a lot of Brazilians. I rep the U.S. above any. But yeah, thank you, Braden. Thank you, Jeff. We try to make this as reasonable as possible. And yeah, just leave in the comment, guys, which country would you like to see us go up against next? Or the ones that watched that are Brazilian. Muito obrigado por assistir nosso vídeo. Comenta aqui o que vocês acharam das nossas opiniões. Torçam pro Paraná pra gente voltar pra primeira divisão. We'll see you guys next time. Make sure you leave a like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, let's hope we pick a country that we have a U.S. majority in the next time without sounding absurd like I did with the Italy one. But thank you, guys. We'll see you next one.